Come along as I turn my partner into this purple alien for my uni project. To start, we needed to make a cast of his ears, so here he is, and you're about to see me absolutely torture him, with the help of my best friend, of course.
I'll try everybody's skin first.
Oh, it's so cold.
At this point, I was having the time of my life. I'm just tapping out all the little air bubbles that might have been caught in there, and then we're just going to check in. After the time's passed and a cute little check-in, he is finally free of the cup on this side. One more side to go. This was a long process, so I sped it up for you. So here I'm adding some water, and then I'm adding the plaster. And then we're just going to mix that together, ready to make little ears. And then this is how the ears turned out. Now you'll be seeing me create the positives for the ears, and then I'll be sculpting onto those to create my design ready to mould. Once again, I sped this up to save everyone's lives, but here I am mixing it all together, and it ends up such a pretty colour. And I'm just pouring it in at a high level to help stop with air bubbles. Why am I pulling them faces? I do not know. And then this is what they ended up looking like. So here's me now demoulding them. Yes, I did miss a step in the filming process. I'm sorry, but here we are. Now enjoy, I'm struggling trying to get this off. Yeah, this is in like 3 times speed and I'm still struggling. Send help. Now that they're both out, I've got to sand it down to make sure that it's not sharp anywhere. Do not want to cut myself on this resin. Here they are, all smooth, and now we're going to sculpt. Here's my sculpt all complete, and now we have to make a wall and then make a clay wall around that, which you can see now, ready to pour in to make the mould, which I'm doing here. Again, here we're pouring at a high level to make sure that there's no air bubbles, but we will go in and tap the underneath of the table just to make sure we pop any of the ones that are still there. This is my setup to mould again, and I will have cleaned out and Vaseline bathed the mould. Here I've coloured my silicone A and B, and then I'm just going to mix them together in the cup and pour those into the mould. Once I've poured all of my silicone into the mould, I'm then going to take my resin ear and place that on top and inside. This is going to create the ear tip. See me violently hit the table to get all those air bubbles out and help spread it. Then here we are, popping the top into the mould. Here you can see I also had a little bit of trouble actually getting it to slot together. I did put it in the right way, I promise. Did eventually get them done though. Now that they've set, it's time to demould them. So here's me picking off all the excess silicone that spilled down the sides. It was very satisfying. Here I'm just using a little bit of a loose powder just to help lift up the silicone on the inside to help release it. No, I'm not. Now it's slowly starting to come out. However, the actual ear tip does eventually get stuck inside the mould, so I had to get extra assistance to help try and get that out, as you can see. At this point we were both struggling, so had to eventually take this over to my tutor to try and help me get this out. And after fighting with the ear tips for a little bit, they were born. Here they are in all their glory. These are my first attempts. Now moving on to the forehead prosthetic, here was my sculpt. Here I'd put my flashing down on my little clay mould wall, ready to make my mould. Here my mould is having a little Vaseline bath, and then I mixed up my silicone A and B and coloured them, and then this was the final result. Here I did some playing around and experimenting with colours, what would layer nicely over the lilac. This is me just playing around with some different colours, and then you'll see my setup. Peep the little sign made by Mitchell Curve Case. Here are my ear tips applied. This was the first time I've ever made them and applied them, so I was quite happy. And this was the final look. Here is my little boyfriend in all his glory, looking like a cute little alien. Yeah, I really enjoyed this look, and here are the final pictures. These are my boards getting cut up, and then we're sticking moss down onto them to create like a ethereal forest kind of vibe. This is for my final showcase live event where people can come and have a look at what we've been doing all year. This is my boyfriend helping me out, the little angel. Literally hot gluing so much leaves, moss, flowers, but this was the final bit. And then here it is set up inside, and then the final decorations. The unit also used my final pictures outside, so here's my little selfie with him. We'll get his reaction later. And then here he is in his little habitat, all ready for people to come and have a look. It was such a fun event, very stressful to begin with, but so fun. And honestly, I couldn't have done it without my amazing partner. Just look at him.
It's quite funny.
Wow!
Yeah, no. Size of my hand.
Here are the professional pictures taken from the event. Obviously they've still got the watermark on them, so I haven't had the official ones yet, but I can't wait to get them. If you'd like to see the pictures when they come out, let me know.